Obviously I was proud of the way our defense played today. They kept us in the game. They continued to battle, and then it kind of got away a little bit at the end. They didn't do nearly a good enough job offensively. You have those turnovers. We don't do a good job of capitalizing when our defense gets the turnovers, and we weren't able to really get anything going momentum-wise. It's a good humbling day. Sometimes you have days like that, but give us a chance to be able to take a step back, do a better job and figure out how we can be proud of the way that we compete, the way that we play. And, I want to do a better job coaching this group the last 8 games that were guaranteed, and we'll see kind of where we're at. But today was a humbling day.
I understand you guys have had some issues at quarterback, but do you feel that there are problems that extend beyond that position?
Well, I think it was, you want to be able to try to help out Brett, when he's stepping in today and you're absent Matthew. And so that's already a challenge as it is, Jordan. I didn't think we played very well around him either. I think we can do a much better job. I'll have to go back and look at the tape. The weather was kind of in and out of rain, which did, minimize some of the different things that you can activate, particularly in the pass game. We had a tough time ball handling even in the run game. And so there really wasn't a lot of positives to take away. I appreciate the way the guys continue to compete, but we can do a better job. And I think it always starts with me, but then I want to see better execution, better fundamentals and techniques, better ability to be able to make some plays when there's opportunity to be able to do that. Not exclusive to the quarterback position, but, all the way around. And that's the type of group that we have. I want people to be able to look inwardly, but there wasn't a lot of good things that you can say we can really be able to build on. There was a lot of different reasons for that, none of which are anything but an excuse. And so that's where I'm looking forward to being able to, have these guys come in tomorrow, give them a chance to be able to get away, and then we'll kind of just reset and figure out what are some things that we can do to try to be, more consistent and execute at a higher level. Because we've seen ourselves do that, but today was certainly not one of those days.
Did Matthew's ability to get the ball improve from Friday?
He's making good progress, but it wasn't anywhere to where we thought he would be able to go for us. There was a chance that we kind of just left the door open, kind of like what I had discussed with you guys. But unfortunately, we know how tough he is. Whenever we get him back, we'll certainly be excited about that. Hopefully, it's when we come back and play Seattle, but I can't give you any updates as it relates to exactly where he's at.
This is the second straight week you've used the word humbling to describe a game. You're going into the bye week with 3 straight losses. Do you worry about that?
Well, I think, you got to be mentally tough and resilient to not allow that to be able to creep in. Last week, there was reason, you give Dallas credit, but there were some reasons where it just kind of got out of hand quickly in a sequence, in a stretch. I thought we were able to kind of recalibrate ourselves and cut it to a 2-possession game. So I think you could take some positives. Offensively, it's hard to really say there was anything that you can take away, as a positive from today. And so that's where the real humbling part comes in.
Sean, that injury is pretty insidious, the thumb injury. Are you optimistic? Do you feel like you'll get it back?
I hope so, Sam. That's the hope. I know this guy's as tough as it gets. He's going to play through stuff that, not a lot of people will do. And we've seen that already illustrated this year. When you look at the hip injury he suffered and sustained against Indianapolis, kept battling through that. He ended up banging his thumb pretty early in that Dallas game at the end of the first half. And then it, ended up taking him out of it when he ended up having the 2-point conversion where he kind of dove in. So I'm hopeful. I don't know enough about exactly where we're at in regards to recovery, ability to be able to grip the ball. I'm optimistic. I'll leave that door open. But in the meantime, I have to do a better job of figuring out some things that I can do as the head coach of this team to be able to put us in some better spots and figure out what are some of the solutions so that we can play better quality football, which we've seen in some instances and some glimpses. And, we've got to figure out how we can collectively do that. And we'll get some guys back that we were also missing some big-time players, and not exclusive to Matthew. And we'll be better when we get those guys back as well.
Come to mind specifically when you say that you want to do a better job of getting better?
Well, I think you just got to figure out what are the things that we can do to activate that give us a chance to execute more consistently. You felt like there were some things that we had a chance to. And I will say this, relative to some of the things that we wanted to be able to activate, the weather, I don't know if you could really tell from the press box or, there were some times the way that the rain was coming down during those stretches, I mean, the ball was so slick, and so it minimized some of the different things that you want to be able to do, whether it's executing some of your quick passing game, even just some of the screens, the ball handling on some perimeter plays. And so your inventory gets a little bit smaller, but I've got to look at the film. You want to be able to look at the body of work from these first 9 games, figure out, all right, who are the guys that we want to continue to do a good job of building and developing, and figure out what it looks like to do better. I know we can get that figured out. I know that there's things that I can do to be able to figure out how to consistently put guys in the right spots, and then we want to be able to see them execute as well. So it's a collaborative effort. I just want everybody to be able to say, okay, what can I do within my role to be better? And I think it starts with, me being able to figure out, all right, what are those things that we can find to be able to have an identity both in the run and the pass, and play more consistently throughout the course of a game. And, we're still hunting that up, and I'm going to continue to work to try to figure that out.
What went into the decision to take the delay game and decline instead of having to just try one a little bit on the 4-yarder?
That right there. Yeah.
Sean, wanted to ask about Tyler. Looked like he made his left hand pretty good, and then had the pass dropped a little bit, or broken up a little bit later on.
Yeah, he's been fighting through a lot of stuff. You talking about Higgs? Yeah, he's fighting through a lot of stuff. He's playing with something that restricts his hand on his right thumb. The way that he plays at the line of scrimmage, some of the things that we're asking him to do, he comes out of there. He's tough as hell, and I know that he did get banged up. I don't know exactly if it was the left hand or not, but I know he's kind of always battling through some stuff, and I appreciate him a whole lot.
Understanding though that seems like it's limiting what he's able, like you said, what he's able to do. Do you reconsider the plan in that regard and getting him?
Yeah, you're talking about like with our other tight ends. Yeah, there were some things where we got, you saw Bryson and you saw Davis in there, and those are the types of things that, all right, what is that balance between taking, your leader, one of your captains, and a guy that's been a really good player for a long time? What exactly is that percentage and that threshold? And there's certain plays that we've kind of talked about that to try to protect him and get those other guys involved. And another thing that we can do a better job with. I don't think so. I think it's kind of just separate entities. I think you look back at a couple years ago, you're playing some really good teams. I think each game is its own true separate entity, and we just haven't done a good enough job lately. And so that's something that we'll look at. He is healthy, yes.
Last talked about the weather. Is it fair to say, though, that you expected Brett to play better today?
Well, I think there was some instances that we can play better around him. We can put him in better spots, and then he can certainly, do some things, in terms of, his ability to play at a higher clip consistently throughout. So I think it's all about, a team effort, and I think the answer is yes, collectively we can do a better job.
Can you speak to playing against Coach?
Yeah, he's done a great job. I think it was a great, example of the resilience of that team. We've had some tough losses. They just continue to battle. I thought they put together a good, complete game plan. They did a nice job of being able to sustain possession of the football offensively. Were able to get some tough, hard-earned yards. They got some good third down conversions when they had to. Thought Jordan did a really nice job, and then they had some great designs. And then defensively, they just smothered us today. They kind of just came up and challenged us, particularly on the early downs, and we weren't able to make them pay. And then I thought they did a nice job on teams as well. So Matt's an excellent coach, really close friend, and, we'll root for these guys after this. But today, like I said, was a humbling day. Okay, thank you.